Breaking news, the Israeli occupational forces intercepted almost all of the vessels of the Global Sumud Flotilla that was heading to Gaza before they enter Gaza and before they complete their mission of delivering aid, food, medical aid, milk to children, men and women who are slaughtered daily and who are besieged and starved because of the same entity and by the same militia who's the Israeli occupational forces, as known as the IDF. It's not just a simple news. We need to see the way that the vessels were intercepted and how the activists were treated and what happened exactly. And I'm going to be showing you different videos to see with your own eyes how these unethical, low criminals act, even towards civilians. The second thing is that we need to also talk about who's in urgent need of this aid, who's in urgent need of medical aid, and who actually needs more than that, more than the aid entering. They need the bombing to stop. First of all, I want you to take a look at this video. This is how the Israeli soldiers entered the vessels, heavily armed, pointing their guns on civilians and activists because they only had good intention of stopping the starvation and of bringing milk to children and delivering medical aid that is needed because people are dying every day, people are being injured every day. The most heartbreaking reality is that almost half of the civilians and half of the people in Gaza are children. So we are not talking about a legitimate war, it's a war against children. And this is why you find loads of people moving to do something, because we cannot look at some children who are the age of our children and be silent on that and not feel anything. So that's how the Israelis choose to act. Breaking into the vessel, of course unlawfully, illegally, not even asking the permission of those people to break into their vessel, to enter it illegally, because they are so used to stealing and breaking into others' property that they find no problem to do that, even if it's caught on camera and even if the whole world is watching them. And the other thing is that they were shouting at the activists to throw their phones in the water. Is the phone supposed to be a threat to you? Like, what's the problem with holding a phone? Is it a gun? Like an Israeli armed man holding a gun in his pocket and holding this like big arms and actually ready to snipe you at the moment is asking you to throw your phone in the water. And if this means anything, it means that they don't want their crimes to be recorded, not because they fear the law and not because they have a moral compass or they feel that what they're doing is unethical. It's because they fear how the world would look at them, because they know the world thinks differently than them. Not all of the world is filled with criminals and sociopaths who enjoy torturing people and will think of, not only think, but will actually hold a gun and kill people, including children. They don't want to be judged. They don't want to be known to people as the sociopaths they are. That's another video you need to look at.
ما بعرف كيف وين الباب.
They are literally spilling water on activists and on civilians on board of the ship. It seems like clearly they are trying to make the ship drown. That's one of the crimes that should move you when you look at it. Imagine someone going with the good intention of delivering some milk to a baby and they find themselves in front of an entity that's trying to drown them. They are spilling water on them. And at the start, I was wondering, which vessel is that? Why is it exactly this vessel? Like, I know that the IDF do different things. Among them, they threw chemicals on some vessels and they used their drones and bombed some vessels and threw bombs around some vessels. But this is a very different way of thinking, like how to commit a crime in another way. And they started spilling water on a ship that is still in like international water. This ship, I don't understand what do they think while doing this. And then on another video, I'm going to put some pictures of that video where it shows they were spilling water on the largest vessel that carries the largest amount of food and medical aid, and it was clear to them. As you have seen in the different videos, they were heavily armed. They were like a huge number of them, a huge number of sociopathic IDF soldiers holding guns on civilians, carrying food to starved population. And not just that, all of these vessels were heavily surveilled by the drones. So they technically know everything on board of these vessels. And they know the people in there because a lot of them were pretty much known activists and artists and actors who were moved by the horrific crimes that Israel is continuously committing. So I went on and read the comments, and some of the people were saying a very logical explanation. They said that they were not only traumatizing the people on board of the vessel, but they were trying intentionally to ruin all of the food and medical aid that's supposed to be delivered to the Palestinian people. Imagine being so evil that you prefer to continue starving the people, and you prefer to ruin a huge amount of food and medical aid more than actually letting these things enter to the people who are waiting for it. They are not any people. They are people who are being genocided for 2 years, 2 long years of heavily bombings. If they saw all of the atrocities that no one could imagine, we're not talking about the psychological traumatic effect. We are talking about people losing their lives daily. This is not something you can speak about. This is not something like you can make people feel if they don't have feelings, but this is horrific. This is happening while all of this world is pretending to be civilized. And all of us, the normal people who had nothing like no political power, we actually see that we cannot be civilized people if this keeps happening to other people. On another video, I find like an idea soldier who's calling them on speaker and saying like, for your safety, you need to shift your direction, you need to go back where you came from, you can't enter Gaza for your own safety. And then she told them like, you have to bring the food through the channels that Israel provides and heavily controls. And I was wondering do they think like people are still stupid and believe in what they say? Because Israel is not providing any sort of channel to give food to the Palestinian people. There is nothing to them, nothing left to them. And then telling them for your own safety. From whom? Like you are trying to say you're protecting the activists and the civilians on board of the Global Sumud Flotilla. From whom? Let them see on their own. You're protecting them. From whom? You're the ones who are kidnapping them, you're the ones who's abducting them illegally, and you're the ones who are taking all of the things they bring to give to the Palestinians. You are taking them personally, stealing them illegally. You're stealing food and medical aid. Every time a vessel tries to bring food to Gaza, you steal everything on board of it and you don't give it to the Palestinian people. You give it to your own people, illegally. It's a clear theft. No one is okay to give you the medical aid that was supposed to be to the Palestinian people. You were taking it, you were stealing it. And then I had this video. This is a very important video that you need to look at. Take a look at this video. These are literally Israelis in masses going on to take aid that's supposed to be for the Palestinian people, the starved people. Imagine going with your family and your friends and your children and knowingly that there's starvation going on. There's a huge crime that's being committed by your own people. And you normally and happily, while laughing, go and take the food that was supposed to be delivered to the people in Gaza. I want you to think sincerely if what you saw in this video and describe how you feel when you saw it in the comments. Just describe how you feel disgusted by this criminal entity. Whenever I try to find something like any hope, any human trait in them, nothing humane about them. They literally are stealing the medical aid and the food. They are stealing it. Food that was given by the people of the world to be delivered to Palestine. That's the channel that Israel provides. They steal your donations. They steal the donations of people and of organizations. They'll tell you, we provide a channel, you can donate here and we'll give it to the Palestinian people. And then they will steal it. That's how untrustworthy, unethical the Israelis are. All of them. It's not just about the IDF or the government. It's all of the people. Look at them. Look at their faces and how happy they are when they are stealing something illegally. That wasn't given to them. That wasn't meant for them. And that was meant for a starved people who urgently need these donations, and they take it. Can you find any explanation or any human feelings in such entity, in such people? No, I bet you cannot. On the other hand, plenty of crimes that's going on in the West Bank, like settlers breaking into homes, killing people, killing activists, stealing property, kicking people out of their homes, and taking the main homes and living in it, and also kicking people out and then taking all of their belongings. And they're literally so disgusting. I'm going to play the video here and look at them, how they are taking furniture and things that's belonging to a Palestinian family who were kicked out of their home, and those settlers went running to take their belongings. That's so disgusting. And I want you just to think that these people were given this land that's not theirs, and we're given a health insurance and a lot of privileges that's of course stolen from the indigenous people. And then that's what they do. That's what they do. On the other side, a starved population, a bombed population. You can find videos of them feeding stray animals, feeding cats, feeding a stray donkey. But that's how the Israelis act. You cannot fix these people. They can't be fixed. They are criminals by choice. You cannot fix them. Any normal person would see how unethical this is and would say this is clear, stealing. But they don't see it. That's what's so disturbing about them. After Israel used all of the unethical weapons and all of the unethical prohibited weapons and all of the things that they could use to torture and kill the Palestinians, that's what they were doing in the last few days. They were releasing gases in camps that are supposed to be the displacement camps for the people. Does it remind you of anything? A lot of parents and people reported that especially children could not support but suffocate from these gases. And it was reported that a lot of children died from the gas release they've been doing. This is not the first time. They've done it before on people who are waiting for aid to be delivered, and they released gases on them, and they took some children and locked them in a room and released gases on them till they suffocated to death. At this point, I just want to report realities and not have any comments because it's so tiring to me. I have no... Those news only have an emotional destruction inside of you. You cannot even describe them. That's how bad it is. And then a very, very alarming thing they were doing in their Knesset. Everything that happens in the Knesset is actually recorded and shown in their international news. So they were passing a bill to execute all of the Palestinian detainees. And if this means anything, it means that they're normalizing torturing people so they don't even discuss it. But they are discussing how to kill these people, and they are discussing executing all of them. And I want to remind you that there's a huge portion of the detainees who are children, even children under 12. And there's at least 4,000 people held in the Israeli concentration camps, prisons. They are held in administrative detention, meaning no one can enter and see their situation, no access to lawyers, and even more, they can be just kidnapped and no one actually knows who they are, and no family member knows that they were kidnapped. And this bill wasn't just passed randomly, because a few months ago there was a writer who said we need to harvest organs from the Palestinian detainees. And a lot of people were shocked at what he said, and he deleted immediately the post. But then months later, you find Ben Gvir and his party passing the bill of executing Palestinian detainees. That's exactly it. Like, it's human trafficking. We're not talking about law and human rights at this point. We are talking about being a human being. My biggest fear all the time was thinking about how there could be some people, among them children and men and women, all of them are humans with the same feelings, could be like in the dark for months or years, could be starved and tortured, and no one actually knows about them. Because if you don't know, like, Israel does not even allow journalists to see the situation inside the concentration camps. And even like after October 2023, there has been new concentration camps built in the Negev desert, like in a desert where nobody actually knows what's going on. So I just think about how terrifying it is for those people. And now that they are talking publicly about executing them, so the majority of the Israeli public and the normal people, they did not even discuss torturing them. They were discussing straight away how to execute them. So torturing was 100% happening and no one was against it. And that's what breaks my heart. That what breaks my heart. That you cannot imagine what someone somewhere is facing and no one knows about them. And while we live normally our lives, there are people who are being tortured by Israel. And as of today, there's more than 100 people who were reported to be killed inside Israeli prisons. And the majority of them had their body taken by the Israelis and they were never returned to their families. This same occasion, I want to speak about three Egyptian activists who were supposed to go with the Global Sumud Flotilla, but they were kidnapped by the Sisi regime. They were thrown in prisons. That's what all of the people are speculating, because there's no trace to find them. There's no way to find them. They did not go back home. So eventually, a lot of people are saying that they were kidnapped by the Sisi regime and that they might be like killed in any minute, because that happened like a few weeks ago. Another activist, Egyptian activist, was held by the Sisi regime and was killed in like 24 hours due to the torture. That's what we're speaking about. In this occasion, I'm just gonna tell everyone who's watching, like, to think about the people who are being detained unlawfully and being tortured, whether it is in Israel and in all of the regimes that are supporting the imperialist settler colony. So that's it for today.